Houses of Old Capital of Japan. If you have visited Kyoto or Naramachi, you have definitely seen streets full of rows of wooden houses in specific city centers districts. These are called Machiya, which literally means townhouse. Local people call them unagi no nedoko, the bedrooms of elves, because even though they have a small facade facing the street, behind they're actually long and narrow. Average plot is less than 5 meters wide, but 4 times as deep, so around 20 meters, stretching back from the street line. What is the difference between Minka and Machiya? The term Minka literally means houses of the people. This term covers a great variety of residential types, from the great houses of village headmen and rich merchants to the huts of the poorest farmers. One of the best examples of Minka tradition is the Yoshimura house located in Habikino City in Osaka Prefecture. It preserves the simple vitality and solidity of the old architectural manners, together with no small sophistication and even elegance. The Yoshimura family, which still owns the family house today, boasts the honor of this house. We could say that Machiya is a specific type of Minka. Therefore, Machiya were the old urban townhouses that served as both residence and as a workplace for local merchants and tradesmen. Naramachi and Machiya. Many of Machiya can be found and seen in Nara, specifically in Naramachi district, which literally means Nara town, and it is a former merchant district of Nara, originating in a town of shrines and temples called Nanto, which means South Capital. Naramachi developed as a town of commerce and then as a town of tourism. Its townscape and old Machiya, built from the late Edo period to the Meiji period, offers visitors comfort and ease, while they go into a deep dive into the unique Japanese culture. Here in Naramachi, many of Machiya transformed into the museums, gift shops, or guest houses, as well as cozy ramen and sushi restaurants. Naramachi Mechanical Toy Museum is also a really captivating place to visit. Before its development into a merchant district around the 15th century, the area that is Naramachi today used to be occupied almost entirely by the once spacious grounds of Gangoji Temple, a World Heritage Site. You know how much I love those. It is considered to be Japan's oldest Buddhist temple, first built in Asuka, but then relocated in Nara at the beginning of the 8th century. Fires during the 15th and 19th centuries destroyed many of the original structures, and the need for more residential space gradually diminished the temple's influence and size. Though once a sprawling complex today, only a couple of temple buildings remain. Naramachi is particularly atmospheric at night, when most of the traffic and tourists have dispersed and the lanterns of the restaurants are being lit. You can imagine yourself transported back to the Edo period as you stroll around these traditional Japanese streets. Oh, what is that? But walking during the day, you might catch yourself saying, "Oh, what is that?" The well-known distinguishing feature of Naramachi scenery are the tiled roofs and latticed windows. But you will also notice the red objects hanging under the eaves of houses. In Naramachi, you often see a red fabric ornament hanging from the eaves. This is a charm representing a monkey. He's a messenger of Koshin-san. The monkey suffers calamities in the place, so it is called a scapegoat monkey. Hanging such monkeys from the eaves of the private and mercantile houses now became a tradition of Naramachi. What was Machiya used for? Machiya, a long, narrow townhouses, served both as shops and as the living quarters of the local merchants. The storefronts of Machiyas were often kept narrow. Although individual Machiya differed to renovations made over time, Representative features include the structure's long rectangular design, its narrow front, and deep interior. The reason for this long, narrow shape lies both in the fact that the land and the taxes were assessed on the width of house's facade, as well as in the inherent desire of local townspeople to keep an eye on the street outside. How does Machiya look like? To understand how the Machiya looks like, let's take a visit to the Naramachi Koshi no Ie. Right in the center of Naramachi's district, there is a Koshi no Ie, an amazing reproduction of a Machiya. If you look at the building across the road, that one is actually an original, and it's 300 years old. It's not open to the public since it is a private house. But fortunately, Koshi no Ie is one of those houses, one of those machiyas, the old urban townhouses that served as both a residence and workplace for local merchants and tradesmen. How the inside of Machiya feels like. In Koshi no Ie, you can relax while breathing in the ways and the lifestyles of old Nara's early residents. You can also come to understand the function of koshi, the slatted window lattice work covering the windows on the front of the house, which look like a double-sided mirror, allowing a hidden view of the streets outside while keeping the inside of the house concealed. Walking around the house barefoot on tatami floor, you can also proceed to the garden and put on the geta, Japanese sandals, and walk on the stone pavement. I was lucky enough that the lady who works at the reception showed me details such as sliding doors, how the entrance door is closed during the night for security, variations on how the windows can be opened during different seasons and times of the day. Therefore, this house definitely feels highly functional since it is so thoughtfully made. Here are 4 important parts of Koshi no Ie. Number 1. Nakaniwa, the inner garden. A long connecting corridor bridged the main house to the detached room Hanare and the storehouse Kura in the back, while also providing access to the bath and lavatory. Number 2. Hakokaidan. What I found especially interesting is that in the parlor you can see stairs using a chest of drawers. Over a long period of history, people learned to make a full use of their limited land and space. Number 3. Kemuri-nuki, the smoke duet. The elevated roof served as an escape duct for smoke emitted from the hearth, kamado. Akaritori, the skylight. To ventilate the earthen floor kitchen doma, these skylights allowed air to circulate and sunlight to enter freely. If you haven't already, go and visit Machiya here in Nara. Since it is run by the local council, the entrance is free of charge, being so accessible, located maybe like 15 minutes from Kintetsu and Nara Station. You can go there in no time. Open hours are every day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. except Mondays when it's closed. While you're in this street, you can also visit the Naramachi nigiwai no Ie. Currently, in this Machiya there is an interesting exhibition that I saw, but probably when you visit there will be another one. You can also walk around Gangoji Temple and after that proceed to the Nara Craft Museum to get the full comprehensive visit and completely understand the beauty of Naramachi. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope you got some value from this. Enjoy Japan!